Murphy Daily here with another book review. Today I'm going to review Silas Marner by George Eliot. George Eliot is a British author, and this book was published in 1861. George Eliot is one of two girl Georges at the time. George Eliot's British, and she is a woman with the pen name of George, the first name. There was also a French novelist named George Sand from the same time. George Sand wrote very bombastic, romantic love stories. George Eliot was British, more restrained. She wrote a lot about what at the time they called morality, tales of character and doing the right thing. George Eliot was critical of the societal changes in Britain during this time. This is the Industrial Revolution and British Empire, the Victorian age. This was allowing people who were not nobility, commoners, to become wealthy, which was a big shuffle in the society. She was proposing that rather than thinking about a title, humans, people, should be judged by their character and doing the right thing. Thomas Hardy in Tess of the D'Urbervilles talks about this problem too. Like, hey, is it just because they have this title that they're good people? This book, Silas Marner, is a short novel. George Eliot has a lot of much longer novels, such as Middlemarch, which is a really wonderful novel. But this novel is shorter, so it is often assigned in classes for English literature. I'd like to point out something too, that in the literature of English language, this book is a proto-mystery novel. Edgar Allan Poe, just about a decade earlier, had written some amazing mystery novels. You know, he's got some astonishing Gothic novels that probably inspired George Eliot to write this book, which is a mystery. I'd like to say the mystery is Silas, the main character, was robbed. We learn about Silas because he started his life in a town nearby, in a restricted, religious, slightly off the beaten path Christian religion, where he was with his community. They're very tight and they work together, and he had friends, but his best friend betrayed him. And when he tried to appeal to the church, like, I didn't do the thing that my friend's accusing me of stealing, and the guy's like, no, you stole it. And the church didn't back him up. They drew lots, and the lots were against him, so he was very brokenhearted. He lost his faith, and he lost his connection to his community. So he just left. He went to the town where this takes place. So Silas is there. He has a skill, he has a craft of being a weaver, and so he sets up his home and begins weaving. He doesn't connect with people because he's lost faith in community, and spends all of his life and all of his time weaving and getting money for weaving. And so he becomes obsessed, like a workaholic. Let me read you an excerpt here. So year after year, Silas Marner had lived in this solitude, his guineas rising in the iron pot, and his life narrowing and hardening itself into a mere pulsation of desire and satisfaction that had no relation to any other being. His life had reduced itself to the mere functions of weaving and hoarding, without any contemplation of an end towards which the function tended. The same sort of process has perhaps been undergone by wiser men when they have been cut off from faith and love. So he is not connected to people. He amasses his gold. and he's got his focus. That's all he does. He loves his gold, and he's not connected to people. But he's not alone in the town, right? He's not the only character. In this town, there's a head character, I should say, the prominent citizen, the squire. And the squire, his wife has died, he has some sons, but he's not handling his business. They kind of run wild. He's not handling his money well, and the housekeeping, the house is not doing well, and everyone knows he's not doing well. His oldest son, the whole town, talks about how he really should marry this one girl who's from the town too, not as prominent a citizen as the squire, but she would take care of business. They're like, Godfrey, this son, needs to marry Nancy and everything would work itself out. But Godfrey just kind of is up to no good. And his younger brother, Cass, is also up to no good, even worse. Well, we find out that Godfrey has already gotten married to somebody else, but he's keeping it a secret. He got this girl pregnant and is keeping it a secret because he really doesn't like her that much. It sounds like she's a drunk. So this is happening. And Cass, the younger brother, is using this knowledge to like make his brother give him stuff. Like, hey man, give me the good stuff. And now he's gotten into debt on behalf of his horrible younger brother. They're both fairly horrible. And so they cook up a plan to sell Godfrey's nice horse in order to pay off all the debts. Cass takes off with the horse, is going to take it on a fox hunt, and sell the horse and then get the money. Everything's solved, right? Except there's no horse. But still, he goes off on the fox hunt, takes the jump, and the horse breaks its back. So Cass is in big trouble. Godfrey has stayed home to go to a party where the pretty girl Nancy that he really likes but can't like because he's married, and he's over there. Cass is out of luck. He comes back, walks past Silas Marner's house, notices Silas is out, and figures he can steal the money. So here's this person who's supposed to be a prominent citizen from a good family, stealing money. We know in the story where the reader know that Cass stole the money. Then he kind of disappears. Silas is devastated that all of his money is gone. He's just utterly, he doesn't know what to do. He goes and talks to people. They try to solve the mystery. The whole town is like, what's happening? We don't know. And Silas is like, now he's really, really devastated. Cass disappears. That doesn't really get followed up very well. Cass disappears now. A little time goes by, and Godfrey's wife, who now we learn is an opium addict, she's a drug addict, she decides to come and reveal herself to the town. So she comes with her opium and her baby, walking through the snow, trying to get to her husband and say, hey, I need more money and you should acknowledge me. But appears to overdose and get stuck in the snow with the baby. So she falls down, falls asleep, and the baby toddles off into Silas Marner's house. Oh, what? Silas is actually, he likes the baby girl. He likes this little girl. Somehow they take a description that her hair is gleaming gold and she's a little blondie, and he decides that this child is his connection. And he takes it upon himself to take care of the child. Now here we are. Things start coming in together. Oh, wait. We do find the Godfrey, that horrible man, the husband of this dead woman, runs over there to find out if it's her, figures out that it is her, takes the ring. And so, who knows? But he knows that his wife is dead now, so he can marry Nancy. Silas keeps the baby, and everybody in the town likes him for being such a nice person to this little foundling, this orphan. And he just loves her. Now, time goes by, and Silas learns that it's not the gold that makes his life worthwhile. Do you see those rich industrialists who are really, really focused on making more money could learn something from Silas Marner? At the end, after Godfrey has married Nancy and things are going better, they can't have a child. This is sad. And he wants a child. He has a child, but he can't tell anybody. Eventually, they find the body of Cass, who is buried. I guess he fell into a pit and dies. And they're like, oh, look, there he is. And they find... Now, this somehow gives a reason for Godfrey to come clean to his wife. Hey, yeah, it turns out my brother stole all the money from the miser guy, and I'm the brother of a thief. But also, I am myself the father of this child. So they both get the wise idea, the smart idea, to go talk to Silas and say, hey, Silas, guess what? I'm actually the real dad, and we'll be taking her now. And in the end, this girl, who has been connected to Silas and loves him so much because he took care of her. He's been a very sweet daddy, and she's apparently a very sweet girl. She doesn't go stay and be adopted by the prominent citizen. She says, no, I love my father Silas. He takes care of me, and I couldn't possibly leave him. This is the moral of the story, that it's not gold, it's connection, it's kinship. And this is how George Eliot talks. This is how she writes. In this era where so much wealth is being generated, Eliot says it's about kinship, it's about connection. And she writes the stories. I do not admire the people who are supposed to be the prominent citizens at all. They're horrible. But this plain man who had very little to offer, Silas, is much preferred by the abandoned child. And this is the story that's put out there. It's a pretty good story. And it's nice that I can encounter George Eliot's writing without having to read a huge tome. I can see why this is assigned. So that is what's going on with Silas Marner. And that's my book review. Let me know what you think.